President Sheikh Mohamud officially laid the foundation today for the construction of new airport in northern Mogadishu.
Hoping to see what is going to be the outcome. Right now we are doing the runway and we've done a great progress, and everything is going on smoothly, and
Hello, welcome to African News and Gist, and I am Iyore, and today's gist is about the $800 million mega airport that Somalia is about to build and that is shaking Washington to its core. Let's just get straight into the gist. Absolutely no one, especially the West, did not expect Somalia, that was described as weak, poor, dependent, not able to sustain themselves, to announce a mega project that is worth $800 million. At least not anytime soon. But this project has shaken Washington, and it has changed how the world is beginning to describe Somalia. When President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud placed his hands on the stone of the foundation and said these words, "This airport is the gateway to Somalia's future," what happened next was not just a ceremony. It sent shockwaves beyond Somalia. This was not a simple repair or an upgrade. It was not a small expansion, and it was not a usual African project paid for and controlled by foreign powers. Somalia had just started building a brand new $800 million international airport, a huge aviation hub designed from the ground up. It is being supported by Somalia's own business community and financed through a bold plan that attracted investors from Dubai, Nairobi, and Istanbul. The United States did not expect this, at least not anytime soon. Trump did not expect this either. And now the world is asking one big question: how did Somalia manage to pull this mega project off? And in this video, I am going to be breaking it all down for you. When Somalia announced in late 2024 that he had planned to build a completely brand new $800 million international airport, the world barely paid any attention. They were like, they're just talking trash. Many analysts outside Africa thought it was just a symbolic announcement, something meant to give people hope and joy, not a project that would truly change anything. But as more details came out, that reaction quickly changed. What Somalia was planning wasn't a repair of an old airport. It wasn't an expansion of what already existed, and it wasn't a surface level upgrade for publicity. Somalia was building something entirely new, a full aviation city created from untouched sand in the Mahe area of Middle Shabelle. This decision showed a major change in how Somalia sees its future. The current Aden Ad International Airport has only one runway and is operating far beyond what it was designed for. It handles humanitarian flights, commercial airlines, diplomatic traffic, and local flights all at the same time. But Somalia's new airport is not just meant to reduce the pressure on this overcrowded airport. It is about building a world-class facility that can compete with the best in the region and help bring Somalia back into the global economy. The scale of this plan is shocking for a country many once believed was too unstable to carry out such a project. Phase 1 of this project is expected to serve about 5 million passengers in a year and handle about 130,000 flights. That is not a small project, it is a mega one. This level of air traffic is something many older Somalians never imagined possible, but these numbers alone do not explain why the project alarmed Washington and other Western governments. What truly changed the conversation is how the airport is being funded. This is a business project, not an aid-funded one. It is designed to make money with an estimated return of about 40% and a payback period of less than 3 years. Investors can buy shares of $3,502, opening the doors to both Somali and international investors. This matters because for decades, Somalia was portrayed by Western power as a country that could only survive on foreign aid and development handouts. You know, for years it was believed that Somalia was incapable of completing such a mega project without Western funds or control. But this airport, this particular project, has changed that idea completely. Because this time, Somalia is not begging for funds, it is actually inviting investors, and investors are running to invest in this $800 million mega airport project that Somalia is building. While the airport made global headlines, the bigger story is what most people missed. Behind the scenes, a new organization emerged, the New Mogadishu Development Corporation, known as NMDC. This group marks a major shift in how Somalia raises money and delivers large projects. NMDC is not a slow, paperwork-heavy government department trapped in bureaucracy. It is not an NGO that depends on donor rules or foreign supervision. Instead, it is a government-backed investment company built to work like a modern global development firm. It can raise money, protect investors legally, and manage multi-billion-dollar projects much faster and more efficiently than traditional government agencies in Africa. Before we continue further, let me know, are you enjoying this video so far? If you are, kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more news and stories on Africa. Let's continue now. This is the moment American analysts realized that they had badly misjudged Somalia. For many years, the United States viewed Somalia mainly through a security lens. Most of its policies focused on fighting insurgency, maintaining stability, training security forces, and containing threats, rather than recognizing Somalia's economic and investment potential. To be honest, Washington never saw Somalia as a major economic player in East Africa, let alone a country that will be able to attract investors. But this $800 million airport that Somalia is building has completely changed how the Western economy will see Somalia moving forward. Even during Trump's time in office, when relationships were viewed mainly as deals and Somalia was seen as having little long-term value, no one expected Somalia to develop the system and institutions needed to handle projects of this size. But behind the scenes, Somalia was doing exactly that. Through the NMDC, it quietly built the tools to fund and manage mega projects, taking lessons from Rwanda's development approach in the 2010s and Ethiopia's rapid growth years in the 2000s. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has often recognized how Somali businesses kept the country alive during its toughest years. When the government collapsed, it was the private sector that kept phone network running, made sure goods were imported, and helped local economies to survive. The NMDC simply turns that reality into an official system. It gives Somali businesses a real say and a real stake in the country's future. The same people who once survived through determination and self-reliance are now helping to build Somalia's biggest national projects. By allowing them to own shares in the airport, the government created a partnership based on local trust and investment, not on foreign aid or charity. The message that Somalia sent with this mega project is clear. Somalia is no longer a country that depends on foreign aid or charity. It is now a country that attracts investors for investments. When experts look closer at the airport project, they realize it isn't just a single development. It is the centerpiece of a much bigger plan to transform the nation of Somalia. Along with the airport, Somalia is planning a new deep water port, upgrades to its national road network, improvements to healthcare facilities, and its very first aerospace science center. The idea that Somalia, a country once seen as a symbol of collapse, could soon host an aviation and space hub may seem impossible, but the recent geopolitical shift make this really real. Somalia has recently been removed from UN sanctions, had $5 billion of its debt forgiven, joined the East African Community, expanded trade with the Gulf, Kenya and Ethiopia, and gained a seat on the UN Security Council. These changes have built a level of international trust that Somalia hasn't seen in decades. The new airport is more than just a building. It is a symbol of Somalia's economic rise. It puts the country at the center of key aviation routes connecting Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. In today's world, where airports shape trade and businesses, Somalia is turning its location into an advantage. Flights from Doha to Nairobi, Istanbul, and Mombasa, or Dubai to Kampala could use Mogadishu as a key stop, attracting international airlines, tourists, cargo, and investors into Somalia. A country that was once considered unimportant could now become a key gateway into the Horn of Africa. This alone challenges the way Washington has approached Somalia for the past 30 years. To understand why this airport surprised the US, it helps to look at the competition in East Africa. Rwanda is building a $1.3 billion airport, partly supported by Qatar Airways. Ethiopia is building a massive hub that could handle 100 million passengers a year, a number that even rivals Dubai's top airports. A country that was once considered unimportant could now become a key gateway into the Horn of Africa. Kenya is building Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to meet growing regional demand. Every major East African country is upgrading its airports, and Somalia, which Western analysts once saw as the weakest in the region, has joined the race. Not with a small project, but with a plan big enough to compete with biggest player. Trump's foreign policy did not anticipate this change anytime soon because it simply saw Somalia as a country with insecurity rather than a country with economic opportunity. The US spent billions on security but very little on Somalia's long-term development. Somalia was treated as a country dependent on humanitarian aid, not as a nation capable of building a $1 billion airport that could generate higher returns than many European airports. Somalia's choice to build an international airport based on investment and profit surprised Washington because it went against the long-held belief that Somalia would always rely on foreign aid. For ordinary Somalis, the airport means so much than politics. It has emotional significance. The airport is expected to create thousands of jobs, training opportunities, and work in service industries. Even more importantly, it shows a change in mindset. For a generation that grew up amid conflict, instability, and life in the diaspora, the airport is a proof that Somalia is moving beyond endless rebuilding and looking towards a future of growth and opportunity. Somalia is now entering a new phase of rebuilding, one that is driven by growth, not just survival. For many years, Somalis living abroad sent money home to save their country. But right now, Somalia is calling its citizens to come back home, not because the country needs saving, but because the country is growing and developing and making global impacts. For many years, Somalians living abroad sent money home back to Somalia to help sustain their country that was struggling. But right now, Somalia is calling on its citizens to come back home, not because the country needs saving, but because this time the country is growing and it is rising, and it is also attracting investors. This reflects a major shift in thinking behind the airport project. Critics are saying that Somalia still has security and political problems, and they are very right. But Somalia leaders, however, are following an important principle. Stability doesn't have to come before development. It comes from development. No country in history waited for complete peace before building major projects. Singapore, for instance, grew its economy despite internal problems. Rwanda developed quickly even while dealing with ethnic tensions and past trauma. Ethiopia built massive projects despite its own political challenges. Somalia is doing the same. It is building now even in uncertainty, not because conditions are perfect, but because waiting would hold back another generation from progress. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think the Somalia $800 million mega airport project marks a new era in East Africa? So what do you think? Do you think Somalia's 800 million mega airport project will usher in a new era in East Africa? Why do you think Trump and Washington, and in fact the Western world, were completely convinced that Somalia will not be able to complete such a mega project? And are you also willing to invest in Somalia's airports? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and let's discuss further there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, to share and to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video when I bring you the latest news and gist around Africa. Bye. See ya.